Morning, BookTube. Bill Rutenberg here at the Rutenberg Library. Come to you this morning with the Friday Reads. I wanted to share with you my week and my reading plans. So anyway, this is for the week of May 2nd through the 8th, so this last week. This whole week's been I've been outside a lot. Been going out with my daughter. The weather has just been too nice to stay inside. So once I get done with my schoolwork in the mornings, after we get done, I come home and eat lunch, and then I've been taking my 3-year-old outside quite a bit, and we've been playing out in the yard, just enjoying the beautiful weather. It's been like 70s, 80s. Of course, I've been enjoying that this week, but it looks like these next few days are going to be kind of cold. I'm almost worried because we got our garden in and got it all planted, but now the weather forecast is calling for anywhere from 35 to 40 degrees in Iowa for our overnight temps, and so I'm kind of worried about my plants. I'm hoping we don't get frosted if it drops too low. Some places in northern Iowa are looking at the frost being an issue. I'm hoping that's not the case here in southern Iowa. So anyway, that also, by the way, just wanted to warn you, that might affect my videos over this weekend because I try to upload, I tape them on my phone, and then I go to school to upload them because the internet's just way faster. If I upload at home, I have to do it through my hotspot on my phone, and it just takes forever, and it's just not a good thing. And so I do that at school. I'll upload the video, and then I get to work on my schoolwork while that's doing that. It only takes like 2 minutes, and it's uploaded. So anyway, over the weekend when the school's all locked up, the employees aren't allowed to get in there because of the lockdown and everything. We're not allowed to go into the school, and so I have to, if I'm going to use the internet, I have to sit outside the school, right outside on the bench. And anyway, sitting in 35, 40 degree weather is not probably going to be my favorite thing to do. So videos this weekend might be a little limited because of that. Anyway, some other things we've been doing this weekend. My daughter, my 3-year-old, had a birthday last month at the end of the month, and she'd gotten some birthday money, and so she likes these little toys, the Calico Critters. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those, but that's been a lot of fun because we took her birthday money, and she had picked out on the big catalog, she picked out this lighthouse, and it's got this little light in there, and it projects. You got like 3 different projections that you can do up on the ceiling. It's got stars, it's got fireworks, and it's got like a full moon with a hot air balloon floating by, or it looks like a hot air balloon anyway. But that's been kind of fun because every night before bed, for about 10 minutes before bed, we turn out all the lights, project that up on the ceiling. So that's been a lot of fun watching her play. Of course, at school, we've been beginning the process of wrapping up the school year, talking about end of the year, like with end of the year meetings and stuff like that. And like yesterday, we had some meetings on how we're going to wrap up this year and the start of next year. I mean, we got a couple more weeks of school, but it's about that time to start those kind of meetings. So we all got called in groups of 10 because you can't meet in larger groups, and we sat in the auditorium, all spaced out all over the auditorium, and we're going over some of those items. And so while I've been up there for that, and then since I don't have internet, they've been letting me just go up to my classroom, so I'm not around anybody. I'm totally isolated by myself. Matter of fact, there's no other middle school teachers up in the middle school wing of the school. I'm the only one up there, so no problems with spreading anything. But while I'm up there, I've been starting the process of cleaning my classroom so that I don't have to do that all in one day. And I've been finding my boxes of books and stuff like that, and so that's been fun. And I've been sharing. I got some of my own personal library boxed up there, and I use them at school, so I keep them on in the storage in my room. And I've been sharing those with you over the BookTube channel. Hope you've enjoyed those because those are definitely a part of my collection. Let's see here. So baseball, that's still up in the air. You know, last week I gave that announcement with the hopeful. I was like the glass half full. You know, I was hoping maybe baseball was going to get going, and then of course the next day the governor gave her announcement of all of the new cases in Iowa, and I mean we're still not hit as bad as the other parts of the nation, but oh man, it's just I am not as optimistic about baseball this summer. I'm hoping still, but I don't know. Oh, and then the other thing before I get to my books that I've read is, you know, every year our kids at school we start doing. We work on leadership skills and goal setting and stuff like that. And of course, my goal is always how many books am I going to get read, you know, for the school year and stuff like that. And this year my number was at I wanted to read 40 books within the school year. And of course, this last week after I finished 2 books this week, and I got my number to 39, and I should easily hit 40. I probably will end at least 41. And by the time school's done, so that's kind of neat. I'm going to hit my goal, and I can share that with the kids. And so, anyway, let's without extending that conversation, let's go ahead and move forward here. Let's see what I've been reading this week. On Friday last week, I told you I pulled this out of the storage, The Fifth Grave, Jonathan Latimer, and I read that basically Saturday. I finished up like the last 20 pages on Sunday morning, but basically read it on Saturday, almost the whole thing. And this was a fun detective novel. It had a detective who came into this town. There's a cult, a religious cult that's there, and him and his buddy were supposed to be trying to get this girl who had joined the cult. Her uncle was trying to get her out of the cult and bring her home, and so this detective's been hired to go retrieve the niece, and his partner is killed right off the get-go, and of course he's trying to solve this big mystery, and so anyway, you get the gangster-like people who are running the town, and then everybody's involved in this cult and the money-making schemes that the cult's making money. The police chief is making money. Everybody's involved with this, except for the FBI, the federal agents, and so the whole book is all based around trying to get this girl out, trying to solve, you know, who's doing these different killings, and then trying to get the FBI involved so that they can kind of get start prosecuting the bad guys. So anyway, that was a real fun read, very, very fast read. If I read most of it in a day, any of you could. Matter of fact, I could have read that all in one afternoon, but I was going outside with my daughter, and we were doing garden stuff, and so I didn't quite get it all done in one day. I very easily could have. That was a fun read. Again, like I told you last week, it's not a book that's going to win any prizes, but it's fun. So the next book that I read, I told you that I had pre-ordered John Grisham's new book, Camino Wins. That wasn't supposed to be in till May 12th, and it came in on Monday. And so I worked on this throughout the week, little bit by little bit, and I finished that yesterday. So that was a fun read. It was a book that paired up with his other book, Camino Island. Same characters, you know, the whole cast is there. And basically in this book, I'll give you a little bit without, you know, totally spoiling it, or try not to anyway. The main character's on an island. He's a bookseller, and he's got he's got this bookshop. He's a bookseller, and they've all of his friends, his circle of friends, are all writers. And basically, a hurricane's about ready to hit the island. Most people got off the island. The island has not been hit. It's off the coast of Florida, by the way. The island has not been hit with directly hit with a hurricane for years. Nobody even remembers the last time. And so nobody's really even expecting to get hit by this hurricane. But all of a sudden, this one hurricane, Hurricane Leo, shifts directions out in the Atlantic and comes straight at the island and just hammers the island. And so in the middle of this storm, one of the writer friends of the main character is murdered. And anybody that stayed on the island had to give a name and number of people to call in case something happened. And of course, the main character, Bruce Cable, he is the contact information for his writer friend. And so he gets called over, has to identify the body, him and a couple of the other writer friends that stayed on the island. And as they're there, they start noticing that things are kind of, this is not a open shut, he wandered out in the storm and was killed type of case. There's actually some foul play. And so throughout the book, they go through the different, the different odd things that are sitting around the murdered person's house. There's blood splatter here. Holy moly, nobody saw that at first. And so they start picking apart, and as they get to going, they start seeing that this is actually a much, much bigger case than what they're thinking. Typical John Grisham. And I would say it was a good book. Not his best, but still fun read, still good. I'd recommend reading it. Goes really well with Camino Island. It's not even on my, it's up above on my bookshelf. But anyway, it was, I'm not going to say slow pace, but, just kind of regular pace the first half of the book. And typical John Grisham, about halfway to 2/3 of the way through the book, it just picked up pace. And I read the final 100 pages yesterday morning, and I read those in, I don't know, an hour and a half. And for me, that's pretty fast. I read them pretty quick. So, it's a typical, as far as the pacing of the book, it's pretty typical of John Grisham. A little slower pace at the very beginning in the first, half to 2/3, and then it just, like a snowball rolling downhill, picks up speed. So anyway, a good little murder mystery. Not his typical lawyer book that he usually puts out. So I got that done. That was book number 39 on my goal setting for my middle schoolers. And then, of course, the ones I've been working on, I was reading on this over the weekend, excuse me, over the weekend, and then today again, SelfMade Man by Sidney Blumenthal. Been working on that. I'm struggling to make big chunks on this and get it done. I'm hoping to get it done this week, and I'm hoping this will be book number 40, but I definitely am not going to hold my breath, because I might find another, book that interests me. I was watching Johnny Keane's video, and he was talking about all the different, he was saying he's, a slower reader, and talking about all the different books that he reads. And I so totally, I so agree with that. I'm a slow reader, and sometimes I watch videos and I see everybody's, finishing all these different books. And I kind of am like, oh my goodness. But Johnny Keane told me something that I really, really liked I was commenting with him. And he told me, I don't read to finish a book. I read because I like to read. I read because I like stories. I read, so it's not just the mission of finishing the book. It's just the love of reading. And I really liked how he put that in his video. So I wanted to give a little shout out to Johnny. I really, really liked that. So anyway, along with finishing or attempting to finish Sidney Blumenthal's book, the next one right after that, and maybe I'll even start it or get it going this week if I'm plodding through Blumenthal's. I'm still got John Keegan's The American Civil War on my list. That's going to be one that I'd like to finish before my school year is out. And in one of my other videos, I'd showed some, in one of the tags, I was talking about Mishner books and how they're always intimidating. And I had somebody commenting about I need to read Alaska, and it's up there on my shelf, the book Alaska, and it was a really good James Mishner book, and so I think I am going to head that direction with my fiction reading. I'm going to go upstairs in the upper room. I'm going to grab the book The Drifters, because I started that a long time ago, and stop, and it's a big thick book, but I'm a good ways through it. I think I'm going to try to finish that, and then I'm going to head to the book Alaska. And so anyway, those are my reading plans over the next week or two. I hope everybody's been having a really good week and getting plenty of reading in, plenty of family time in. I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy. And so BookTube, you have a great week, and enjoy all this time. And look, you know, the glass is half full. You need to keep that mentality, because, you know, some things are just out of our control. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.